The year was 1928, a time when dreams were as big as the Great Depression was bad. On a bustling street corner in New York City stood a young boy named Tommy, no older than 12, with a stack of newspapers under his arm, the morning's chill still clinging to him like a second skin. His eyes, however, burned with a fire that no winter cold could touch. Each day after school, Tommy would take his place on that corner, a sea of faces passing by, each one a potential customer or more likely another rejection. For Tommy, every day was the same. He would call out, "Extra, extra, read all about it." But the only response he got was the echo of his own voice and the impatient honk of cars. The people either didn't have any money or simply weren't interested in the news. But Tommy didn't let that dampen his spirits. He believed that one day he wouldn't just be selling newspapers on this corner. He had dreams, big dreams. Dreams that whispered to him of owning his very own business, of being his own boss, of creating something that would make him more than just a small-time newsboy. His biggest challenge, however, wasn't the lack of customers or the biting New York winds. It was the pennies. Every penny he earned went back into the business. He used the money to buy more newspapers, hoping that one day he would sell enough to earn a profit. It was tough, but Tommy was determined. He learned that if he woke up earlier, he could secure better spots on the street corners, ensuring that he got more customers. He learned to talk up, to be friendly, even in the face of constant rejection. He learned that a smile and a good word could go a long way. One particularly rough winter day, Tommy was starting to lose hope. He'd been at this for nearly 2 years now, and his profits were barely enough to cover the cost of newsprint. Just as he was about to throw in the towel, a man approached him. The man, well-dressed despite the weather, introduced himself as Mr. Johnson, the owner of a local printing press. He told Tommy that he'd been watching him for weeks and was impressed not just by Tommy's resilience, but his work ethic. Mr. Johnson sat down beside Tommy on the curb, and over the next hour shared with him stories of his own struggles, of the printing business, and the lessons he'd learned along the way. He spoke about the importance of timing, the value of $1, and the magic of treating every customer like gold. When he finished, he turned to Tommy and said, "You remind me a lot of myself at your age. You have the makings of a fine young businessman." He handed Tommy a card. "If you ever need anything, come see me," he said. That day was a turning point for Tommy. It wasn't just about the advice he received, although that was invaluable. It was about the belief Mr. Johnson had placed in him. For the first time, Tommy saw a path forward, a roadmap to success. A few months later, armed with Mr. Johnson's advice and a small loan from his family, Tommy took a giant leap of faith. He bought a bicycle and a sturdy bag. He continued to sell newspapers, but now he offered something extra, a delivery service. He would pick up dry cleaning, groceries, even packages from the local post office and deliver them to people's homes. Tommy became the go-to guy, the one who saved time and energy. His business grew steadily. Tommy was always up early, always on the move, always hustling. He added more bicycles and more routes. He hired other kids from the neighborhood, teaching them the ropes and sharing the profits. They called themselves the Delivery Boys, a name that echoed with camaraderie and hard work. Years flew by, filled with long days and even longer to-do lists. But Tommy didn't mind. He was building an empire, brick by brick, delivery by delivery. His network grew to encompass not just the local area, but the entire city. He started getting calls from businesses, people who wanted him to manage their deliveries, to organize their logistics. In 1945, Tommy made a pivotal decision. With the help of his brother, he opened a proper office, hired an accountant, and expanded his services to include package pickup and delivery across state lines. Overnight, the Delivery Boys became All-State Delivery, a name that spoke of reliability and reach. By the end of the 1950s, All-State Delivery was a household name. People knew they could trust Tommy and his boys to get their packages where they needed to be on time, every time. Tommy had done what he set out to do. He was no longer the small-time newspaper boy, but the big-time CEO of a thriving company. He looked back at his journey, remembering the biting wind, the silent streets, the endless rejections, but he also remembered the lessons, the friendships, and the triumphs. He remembered Mr. Johnson's words, the value of $1, the magic of customer service, and most importantly, he remembered his dream, the dream that had started it all. All-State Delivery became one of the largest logistics companies in the United States. Over the years, it adapted to new technologies, new markets, and even new generations of customers. Yet it never lost sight of its core values, the principles that Tommy had set in motion all those years ago. In his later years, Tommy often found himself sharing his story, not just as a life lesson, but as an ode to the power of dreams. He believed that everyone had a story inside them, a story waiting to be written, a dream waiting to be chased, and he encouraged everyone who listened to him to find their story, to chase their dreams. "Don't ever let anyone tell you that your dreams are too big," he would say, his voice raspy with age but still strong with conviction. "All you need is a good idea, a bit of courage, and a whole lot of hard work. Oh, and don't forget the details," he would add with a wink, "because it's the little things that make the big difference." As the sun began its slow descent on another day, casting long shadows across the city, Tommy looked out from his office window. The view was breathtaking, the skyline a testament to dreams realized. But his gaze was not lost in the grandeur of it all. It was fixed on the small-time newspaper boy who had started it all. A boy with a dream as big as the sky and a heart full of hope. And as the city lights twinkled on, Tommy smiled, for he knew that the story didn't end there. It was just beginning. Have you enjoyed the story of the newspaper boy's dream? If so, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, Life Lesson Stories, where we bring you tales of triumph and tribulation, success and struggle, all designed to inspire and educate. We've got stories of courageous entrepreneurs, innovative thinkers, and everyday heroes whose lives serve as guiding lights on the often turbulent journey of life. So click that subscribe button and join our community of learners and dreamers. Together, let's learn, let's grow, and let's conquer the world.